ones at times in some of the team. 11 on 11, 3rd down and 14. Draw, blue, hit, and gang tackle near the 14-yard. 3:01, over 3 minutes basically.
Yeah, they've had a lot of big plays, double moves, busted coverage by the defense, whereas Arizona had sustained drives, but when they got to the red zone, they started going backwards, getting field goals instead of touchdowns. Otherwise, the score would be much different.
And then there was a short field, obviously. The interception, Gardner Minshew and Simi Fehoko fell down. And the return, this is Trey Wallace, spins off the tackler. Is taken down, and that's where Keaton Slovis and the Cardinals offense would take the field. Let's go down to Danny.
It's time now for our sideline report presented by Fry's Food Stores. I'm joined now by safety Dewey Winger. Dewey, 7th year in the league, first time with the Cardinals, and you've raved about playing with Budda Baker. How has he allowed you to sharpen your game mentally, sharing the field with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. It's always good to be with someone who's smart and can communicate, and that's just been big for me. It helps me play fast. I don't feel like I gotta, make the calls for the other guy. Like, I know he's just as smart as me on the other side. So he's definitely helped me sharpen my mental skills.
You said that when you walked into the facility for the first time after signing, one of the first players you saw was tight end Trey McBride. The two of you have beef that goes all the way back to playing each other in college. He had a late hit on you that you didn't like. How'd you guys work through that now that you're teammates?
Yeah, you have to. It's like you're going to be seeing each other every day. It's like, but it was all out of respect. He's a competitor just as much as I am, and I respect it. And, once we shook hands and, put aside the beef, it was completely fine. So, and it's what you do between the white lines, and got nothing but respect for him.
One of those moments where you look at each other and you spoke about it, or you just knew what you were each thinking?
Yeah, it was kind of like a telepathy thing. Like, we both understood, like, hey, we're boys now. It's all good. No worries. Iron sharpens iron, and we'll go make each other better. And it's great to go against him every day. He's a hell of a player.
You've said that you describe yourself as a psycho white guy, which you feel every team needs. That's a role you have decided to take on. What are the roles and responsibilities that come with that title?
Just juice and playing on, truthfully, psychotically. You got to fly around out there, put your nose on people's, on their chest plate and give them hell. So that's kind of what we do, and I kind of pride myself on that, and it's fun to play that way, so that's what I do.
Early looks with this defense under DC Nick Rallis. What do you like the most about how he schemes you up?
Yeah, I mean, it's just opportunistic for the safeties to play, and it fits my style of communication and playing cover 4 in the secondary and big zones and playing man and scheming up run fits. So I'm excited to just get out there and start striking, start making tackles, start playing real football, and I think this defense is going to be great for me.
Dewey, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Send it back out to you, Paul.
All right, thanks to both of you. 18-yard strike there as Bryson Green on the business end from Keaton Slovis. That'll do it for the third quarter. 27-13 for Keaton Slovis, the Scottsdale kid.
Every player on the team, so he brings the energy for everyone.
Right, floating to pass to the far sideline, and had it right there. Taps himself, Sean Bowman. Incomplete as a flag is out of the field as well.
An eligible member of the offensive team downfield illegally. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Kendrick Bourne, by the way,
Number
one of our
57.
new faces, sponsored by Your Valley GMC dealers.
His experience too, a decade in the NFL, has seen so much, so that veteran leadership is going to help guys like Marvin Harrison Jr.
Here's Keaton Slovis under center, give, right side, nothing doing. Dallas is there. TFL as we go down to the sideline and Danny Surratt.
Kendrick Bourne was brought in this offseason in part because of his relationship with Mike LaFleur. The two of them spent time together in San Francisco when LaFleur was Bourne's position coach. And while LaFleur says that he might not be the fastest or most dynamic, Bourne is incredibly confident with his hands, and he's so sure in his hands that half the time he's already looking at how to knife up the field once the ball is out. He is the ultimate hype man, though. Although, Sam, there's a handshake with every player except for Jacoby Brissett, who laughed when he was asked what their handshake looked like. But all love between those two who were teammates together in New England.
Come on, Danny, I got to get some answers. Why doesn't Jacoby have a handshake with Kendrick? Do we know? I need some intel.
Well, I'll surmise. I mean, you know, this is no small thing. Have you seen the degree of difficulty in these handshakes? You have to invest some time.
It's the whole playbook with the handshakes. You got to have a playbook for the plays, a playbook for the handshake. It's like 17-second ordeals.
He already has a new playbook to learn as QB1. There's just no time left for the handshake element. 3rd down and 15. Bryson Green couldn't corral that last one. Slovis to the air, short set, tipped and incomplete. And that'll be a pass batted at the line of scrimmage. And Jay Toia. But Kendrick Bourne, Danny's not kidding, has an individual handshake, a unique handshake with at least a dozen different players on offense. So just the degree of difficulty and the time committed there. But in those dog days of camp, the perfect antidote is Kendrick Bourne.
And the reason why is that the handshake piece is it's just connection. He wants these guys to know that I know you when I see you, and when things get hard, not just in camp but in the season, hey man, we're together. That's why he's trying to build these connections with the guys on the team. He understands the importance of being together.
If you're wondering who the emergency punter is, well, we're finding out in this game. It's Chad Ryland. As that one caroms into the end zone. Blake Gillikin sidelined by injury, 44. Well, a degree of difficulty and a learning curve for the Cardinals defense. As Sam Howell goes to the air, back shoulder down the far sideline. His big tight end, Zach Kuntz, makes the catch and then some. Again at 25.
And Mack Wilson got injured last year, and that's a little bit when the season started to really struggle for Arizona defensively. What that means is that some of the guys behind him, guys like Cody Simon, let's say Carson Shire, the rookie, need to develop that voice, because it's a 100% injury rate in the NFL. People are going to get hurt. You have to have that second guy ready.
1st down and 10. Howell throws a dart to midfield. And the receiver has it. Looks like a gain of 9. Anthony Smith. But beyond just the leadership of a team captain like Mack Wilson Sr. we see there, it was his role as the quarterback of the defense, Sam. And the more and more I talked to guys at the end of last season, just they weren't the same defense with and without their quarterback. I likened it to the Bengals offense minus Joe Burrow.
Yeah, there's some reality to that, because especially with this defense, as a Mike linebacker with all those DBs and D linemen, you're the one who's keeping everything together.
And a give to the new running back, Israel Abanikanda, and he is hit and ridden down. Nice play by the Cardinals defense to get in there. Leota once again, Eku Leota, making his presence known, no gain. I mean, I'll give you an example. Tell me if this is valid or not. Sam Acho, you played nearly a decade in the NFL. The Cardinals' last win last year was at Dallas on Monday Night Football. Dallas had a high-octane offense. They were top 3, top 5 in virtually every offensive category. That offense did not score until the 4th quarter with Mack Wilson Sr. out in the field. That's the last game he played as a Cardinal last season before he had his own season-ending injury. Gain of 3.
It speaks to the importance not just of that position, but of the human, of the player. We were in Vegas last week for their game. You could see him. He was there. I saw him with Buda Baker. I saw him with some of the rookies, Walter Nolan. I saw him with Will Johnson, these second-year players. They gravitate towards him. He's the glue of this defense. But with injuries happening, you have to find that other player who can step up in this league.
Here's Howell, 1st down, fresh set of downs for Dallas. Trying to engineer a scoring drive. Throws with pressure off the right side. In and out of the mitts on a chunk throw attempt, the far sideline. Anthony Smith was that close.
At 54, Eku Leota was also that close. He had a quarterback hit, quarterback pressure. That kept Sam Howell from being even more accurate with that pass. You see him getting off the field right now, getting some water, getting some rest. But Leota's having himself a day, trying to make a case for himself to be that last outside linebacker that makes the team.
And if you could have an answer to 1 or 2 questions between now and the season opener at the LA Chargers, to me it would be, all right, where else are you getting pass rush? Is Howell running for his life? Tucks it, runs it, tries to get the edge, does, up the far sideline. 2nd down and 10.
You talk about pass rush. I know Leota just got off the field. BJ Ojulari just did one of the most beautiful bull rushes you could ever imagine. Keep your eyes to the top of the screen and watch number 9. I mean, this is like, I don't know, so just watch. Just watch.
It's good news. High second-round pick, coming off a knee injury.
But that's that little piece. The second piece you got to do is finish. He's getting his strength back, but that last little burst is what's missing.
It's Howell to the air, comes back to the middle. Tight coverage by Owen Papo, but they rule it a catch. Zach Kuntz, the tight end, using all 6'8" of his frame to reel that one in, a gain of 5. Look, Josh Sweat, we've yet to see him in camp. Both the head coach and the GM have reiterated their confidence he will be good to go Week 1, September 13th at the Chargers. Give to Abanikana, hesitates, accelerates. Past the 30, down to the 27-yard line. Walter Nolan. You know when Walter Nolan is out there, he's a force, not just against the run, but getting to the quarterback. We've seen him get into the backfield.
Number 68 is reported as eligible. Number 68 eligible.
With regularity. By the way, we're told Josh Sweat has put on some good weight in the offseason. And so we're all eager to see him when he makes his debut. And you know what? If it's regular season week 1, so be it. And he's coming off 12 sacks, a career high. Abanikana angles off the right side, spins off a tackle, picks up the first down before he is dropped near the 20-yard line. Gain of 7, but again, Sam, back to the topic at hand. If you could get an answer to one question between now and this season opener week 1, it would be, where else is that pass rush coming from?
And I still don't have that answer. We're still trying to find it, where it's going to come from. Maybe it'll come from pressure. Maybe Nick Rallis, defensive coordinator, instead of trying to rush with 4 or rush with 5, he'll be blitzing more. That sometimes is an answer, but the problem is when you blitz, you leave one less guy in coverage. It makes it easier for an offense to beat you over top.
First down at 10. Howell going for it all. Near sideline into the end zone. Incomplete. Nice coverage. Keitrell Clark, stride for stride with Jaden Smith as we take a look at our new faces, sponsored by your Valley GMC dealers. Isaiah Oliver, the backup safety, special team standout, Valley guy. And here's someone who is playing for a spot. This fight for 53 as we are midway through the 4th quarter of preseason game number 3.
53, but also the practice squad. That's another thing that these players are playing for, to show that they're worthy of being on the team in general.
Howell, quick slant underneath, caught, and then corralled at the 13-yard line. Jordan Hudson, as he's starting to work in new receivers, a gain of 8 from Sam Howell.
Jordan Hudson out of SMU, was an outstanding receiver, had a big elbow injury last year, but coming into last year. 3rd and 2, though, in the red zone. It's got to be tight coverage. These are great situations for both offense and defense.
And Howell has trips to the left. Leota off the right side of that Cowboys offensive line. See if he can get home. Howell off his back foot, floats it into the end zone. Picked off! It's picked off by one of our new faces, Isaiah Oliver, in the end zone for a Cardinals takeaway. Howell took a shot off his back foot. He threw up a 50-50 ball, and guess what? The Cardinals said, that's ours, thank you.
He doesn't get blocked, so Sam Howell's fading away, has to just throw a 50-50 ball, and Oliver the entire way is tracking that ball. Now, I don't know if he got touched. He probably could have kept on running, but
Slovis stumbles, regains his footing, hit, and the ball is out. Cardinals going to recover just in case. The arm wasn't going forward, but the signal from John Hussey is no, incomplete. The arm was going forward. Valentin Sen getting on the football there. Showing some nice quicks for the big man.
Here's why this time of the game matters so much. All the players you see on the field are fighting for something, either to make the 53-man roster, to make the practice squad. Some of these players will be the last time they ever play football. And so there's so much on the line, but it's just different. It's not maybe to be the #1 receiver, #1 defensive tackle. It's to show that you belong in the NFL.
Right, slowly, short set, scanning, looking, now escaping to his right. He's going to tuck it and run it to the near sideline, across the 30, picks up the first down, and gets out of bounds. Jacoby Brissett off the sideline, giving him a showdown.
Keaton Slovis isn't necessarily known for his speed, but when nothing was open to the left in his first read, to the right in his second read, all of a sudden he says, "Okay, I got to get out of here. I don't want to take a sack." It's a little bit of speed showed off there against some of the not as fast defensive linemen.
So Keaton Slovis was the PFF highest rated quarterback coming off last weekend's preseason games, according to the analytics. And part of what they cited as big man in the backfield, flags fly, we'll sort this out, bunch of whistles. Trey Stewart, the recently signed running back with the carry.
Offside. Defense number 93. 5-yard penalty. First down.
But Keaton Slovis 7 of 9 passing against the Raiders, had some chunk throws, didn't put the ball in harm's way. These are all things the analytics measure. And so once again, for all the quarterbacks who played last week, the Cardinals' 4th-string quarterback was the highest rated quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, great news for him. Maybe not so great news for the Cardinals, because that means other teams might say, we want Keaton Slovis on our practice squad if he ends up getting cut.
Number 31, play fake, pressure in his face, and he is sandwiched in the backfield. No chance. Cowboys get home, and they are celebrating a sack. Sam Williams, Maris Leofau, loss of 9.
Talked about that Cowboys pass rush at the very beginning of this game. You have to try to get a lead so you can slow down that pass rush, not just the 1s or the 2s, the 3s and 4s. Sam Williams was an early round draft pick from not too long ago. He's fighting for his roster spot. So this Cowboys D-line is going to be special. A great litmus test for Arizona offensively.
2nd and 14. Draw. Here it is, Trey Stewart racing across the 35, upended at the 38-yard line. He'll be at least 2, closer to 3 yards away from a first down. Gain of 11.
The thing you have to remember on 2nd and long is usually teams, they do screens and they do draws. The reason why is that offensively, you know that the defense wants to go get sacks. So you let them run up the field and you do a draw right underneath them or a screen right behind them.
Again, Trey Stewart, the running back, 5'8", 186, undrafted a year ago. And Slovis sends it to the sideline, not in sync with Bryson Green. That ball airmails the intended target. So, Sam, you're a believer in this revamped Dallas defense.
Oh, absolutely. A couple reasons. Christian Parker, their defensive coordinator, 34 years old. We talked about him, Vic Fangio tree. But also B.T. Jordan, who's their pass rush coach. He was the pass rush coach for the Denver Broncos the last 2 years. The Broncos led the NFL in sacks the last 2 years, and it wasn't close. They led by like 20 plus. And so those additions, they permeate all the way down the line.
4th down and 3, Slovis, and he cannot connect with Corey Kiner. Just off the fingertips at the sticks, and that'll be a turnover on downs, as the Cowboys offense will take over when we come back. Cardinals down.
What are you two working on intentionally to build that chemistry and put time on task?
I think that's just what it is. It's just building, repetition, and obviously when he's been out there, he's been effective. So, there's nothing special. It's just going out there and just trying to do the routine things, and that when the game gets here, that we both trust each other.
You've talked about liking how Mike LaFleur disguises this offense, run and pass looking the same. What are going to be the greatest strengths of this offense and using that to your advantage?
I think it's that. It's just using, the multiple different formations and motions and things like that to run the same plays, to be simple so that we play fast and execute our, versus anything that we see.
Jacoby, you are as competitive as they come in the locker room. Are you part of this ping pong competition where everybody thinks they're the best in the locker room?
No, I don't play things that I don't think I'm good at, and I don't think I'm good at ping pong. So I'll let them have that. Everything else, I'll take them up on that.
Okay, and quick update on the handshake situation with Kendrick Bourne. Sam Alcho and Paul Calvisi up in the booth were talking about it. Still no handshake with your receiver.
No, I don't think I will, because he wants to dance and I'm not dancing. So if we could just shake hands or something like that, it'll be simple. But right now it's a no. He keeps asking me.
Well, Jacoby, we appreciate the time. No handshake. There you go, Paul and Sam.
You know what? I respect that. It's the one thing I have in common with Jacoby Brissett. No dancing.
Paul, we're going to do a handshake and we're going to dance.
It's Bonnie Conda across the 25 to the 24. By the way, Jacoby Brissett should be thankful for the ping pong, because if you believe the receivers, it's helping them with their hand-eye.
Number 67 is reported as eligible. 67 eligible.
Michael Wilson, who's atop the power poll of ping pong players, at least if you believe him, he says if he had to give up ping pong or the jugs machine, the ball machine, he would give up the jugs machine.
Really?
He thinks it's that critical to his pass catching. He loves it. As Abanikanda gets the call again, and once again running beyond his pads, pushing the pile down to near the 17-yard line, gain of 8.
Can we get back to those dance moves, though? Like, what are we doing, Paul? Like, what's going to be our handshake? We have opportunities post-game next week. Are we doing it, or are you going to be Jacoby Brissett?
See, that's why I pivoted to ping pong, because we were getting off the dancing. That was by design there. Sam's supposed to follow that lead block there. That's yeah, we don't have time. Kendrick Bourne, on top of that, he's still figuring out whether. It's amazing how he's recruiting guys in that capacity. And the ping pong is off the hook. I mean, there's Abanikanda straight up the gun on 2nd and 2. He gets a gain of 3. All right, I'm saved by the out-of-town scoreboard. We take a look, sponsored by our Valley Toyota dealers. I mean, even Brian Schottenheimer, the Cowboys head coach, he had a quip about how he was the coach of Fight Club. Throw it out into the far flat and getting out in space and making the tackle. Cameron Robinson getting off the block for a loss of 1.
That was a nice tackle by Robertson, the rookie out of SMU. It's hard to downplay how difficult it is for an outside linebacker to make this on a receiver. Notice he breaks down just a bit, but it's hard to make that play in space. So outstanding job by number 49, Robertson, out of SMU, tackling in space.
And you really can't figure out the state of tackling until you get into these preseason games.
That's one thing to do it in practice, one thing to, kind of tag off, different thing to get somebody down.
2nd down and 11. Give. A reversing field coming back to the near side, and then turning the corner up the sideline into the end zone is Phil Maffa into the game and into pay dirt for a 15-yard touchdown run.
I love his game. Phil Maffa, rookie out of Clemson. I got a chance to see him on the field beforehand. He's a big back, but man, he plays with so much, I think the word is confidence. He's not the speedster that you think will cut it back, but nothing's there. He's big, he's strong, he sees nothing's there. Then he's patient enough to set up his blockers and find the end zone. That's how you take advantage of limited reps. First time really series of Phil Maffa's in the game, and he's finding the end zone.
Yeah, you have a round 7 pick like the Cowboys did a year ago. Why not go ahead and spend it on a 6'1", 232-pound running back who was a starter? Benson, James Conner aren't in this game, and Tyler Algier, he was held out. Time for the Toro ground stats, as you see 22 carries for 83 yards as a team, and that rushing touchdown by Corey Kiner. That's what it's all about. When there are opportunities, you're talking about someone, Corey Kiner, who appeared in 4 games for the Cardinals last year. He had 12 carries in the regular season. Amir Smith-Marset racing across the 30 before he is chopped down at the 32-yard line. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning.